Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to my 20-minute quick round. I'm Dana Mahina. I'm here from the island of Kauai. I spent 30 years in Silicon Valley. I'm a corporate defector, and I'm also a recovering CEO. How in the world did I get here? Well, thanks to Opolis, shout out to them. I've been involved as an advisor for 4 years, woohoo! And here we go. Let's talk about your burnout. So most high-achieving, overachieving people who are solopreneurs and really crushing it have some form of burnout. 89% of women around the world report having burnout, according to the World Health Organization, and men also have burnout. Men who are working their asses off to deliver what they think their vision quest is. Good for you, that's awesome. Let's deal with your burnout today. Let's take you from burnout to joy as soon as humanly possible, shall we? Great. All right, here we go. So, burnout is actually not even necessary. We're all brought up to crush it, kill it, be high achievers, overachievers, run like hamsters inside of wheels. How many of you think hamsters are cute? You are not a hamster. You are a human being. It's not cute. It's not cute to get sick. It's not cute to burn out. And it's not cute to crush the people around you in your family, your friends, your community, yourself, your own well-being, your sense of who you are, just because you want to have the giant payday. The payday will come if you're really smart about your own productivity. So, if you're in a burnout cycle, I'm going to help you with MicroSteps to get out of it. And more importantly, prevention is the cure. I'm going to teach you how to recognize when burnout is on its way. All right, so what is productivity? Does anybody know? It's busy. It's high achievement. No, it's actually not. Productivity is hyper efficiency, maximal output for minimum effort. So if you are a very, very, very focused person doing 17,000 things in one day, the chances are you're about to B is for burnout. I wrote a book recently called B is for Burnout. Forgive the expletive, you can cut it, not bitch. This book is geared toward women who, again, 89% of us around the world are burned out. This is for men also, because you're allies, because your neighbors, your wives, your partners, your friends, your daughters, your sisters, your aunties, they're burning out all the time. And you're burning out trying to keep them from burning out, aren't you? Don't you want help? So here's how to do it. Change the way you work. Change the way you live your life. If you're a leadership, you're running a business, a company, you're a solopreneur, you're a Web3 guru, people follow what you do, they don't follow what you say. So we gotta get you off this burnout cycle and into being way more productive, finding time for yourself. Now there's also a value equation that I've discovered. I've hired, trained, and developed thousands of people over my 30 years in Silicon Valley. And what do I know about people? I know that they lie to themselves. I did it too. I was so burned out. I was always one cold away from full-blown pneumonia. And then what would I do? Work harder from the bed. It was not cute. I know I look like a gamer with a headset and a laptop and Kleenex, but it wasn't cute. And it sent a real message to my children who were young at the time. I was a single mom that, hey, girls, you got to work yourself to death. That's just the way it is if you want to get ahead, if you want to win the game, if you want to play the race, the amazing race that is this world. It's actually not even true. I am more productive today living on an island in the middle of nowhere. I set my schedule, I'm very focused during that schedule, and I always optimize for the lowest effort coming from my value, for the highest return. I provide so much value, and so do you if you think about the way you run your life and your businesses, to others, your customers, your clients, your friends, your communities, your groups. You give and give and give, but what are you receiving in exchange? Is it an even exchange? Not like the old Latin term quid pro quo. This for that. That's terrible. What I'm talking about is giving and receiving and really valuing the output and how you give, and in exchange, how you are thanked. Some of us are thanked with money. Some of us are thanked with crypto. I don't know. Some of us are thanked with time off. Some of us are thanked with a walk in nature. Some of us are thanked by we get to go to the gym every morning because we set our own schedule. Some of us are thanked by our loved ones because we make quality time for them. However your value is exchanged is really important, and you want to take inventory. What is the value you're giving? What is the value you're receiving? Okay, what brings you joy? So there are micro steps to joy, micro habits. Many of you have read about micro adjusting. There's 7,000 books. Let me tell you what brings me joy. And it's clean. This is Dr. Bronner's, you know the brand? They're not sponsoring this, they should be. Dr. Bronner's organic hand sanitizer. I always travel with it. Why? Because it cleans my hands and this mic. Ask my AV buddy here. This cleans the mic, but it smells amazing. And you can breathe in lavender for about 3 seconds, and you feel already a sense of calm. How many of you have a hard time getting up and away from the computer? You're like in a vortex, stuck. Go outside. Yes, go outside. Look outside. Breathe the air. You can't get yourself to open a window? Look at a tree. Laser in on the tree. Look at the color green. What does it feel like? What does green mean to you? You're probably going to design something cool with like UX all of a sudden that's green. You don't know why. Because you were fixated on something outside. Pet your dog. Take your dog for a walk. Most of us love our pets. They're our family. In Hawaii, we call them ohana. They're part of our family. Do something every day that helps you bring more joy, even for 5 minutes, into your life, and watch how your relationships improve. And watch how the dollars start rolling in. It's all related. We're so much more successful financially, emotionally, spiritually, when we prioritize our own wellness. And your life has 5 facets. I've already said it once. I'm not going to do a quiz today. Those of you streaming this and watching, and you're my clients already, you better know what these are. Career, family, friendships, your own well-being, and your community. So many of you say, I want to volunteer. We send out these quizzes on Instagram, dana.mahina on Instagram. Please find me there. I also love LinkedIn. Sometimes I'm on X, Dana Mahina. Go to danamahina.com. We do these quizzes, and people always say, oh, I really wish I had more time for community. So they write a check, $10, $15, $25. They sell Girl Scout cookies for their kid. They do a fundraiser on my island selling Kailua pork plate for the boys' football team. But they still feel guilty about it. How many of you understand the emotion that is guilt? You feel guilty. It's passed down from generations. It's very manipulative, totally masterful. It's also actually not an emotion. How do I know? If you're really, really sad, the opposite is joy or happiness. If you're really, really pissed off, the opposite might be total calm. Guilt, the opposite is more guilt. It's just shovel it, pass it down generationally. Guilt is not a strategy. We want to really dump the guilt and infuse the joy. So if you really want to give back in community, repurpose your life. Take an hour from work and give it to community. Instead of doing the bake sale, maybe actually do something that you really want to do. You want to go read to the kids for story hour. You want to teach them how to deal with money. Kids have no idea about money. Maybe you want to go out into community and volunteer with the Boys and Girls Club. You can make an hour a week. How many of you can do basic math? I should come down into the audience. Yeah, oh, good. What is 24 times 7? 168? That's right. Yeah, very good. 168. That's how many hours all of us, men, women, children, she, they, all of us. 168. That's as many hours as we all get in 1 week. It might be the only thing that has equity your entire life, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you believe, and how you identify. We have 168 hours in the week. You have to spend them very wisely. I know there's a lot of poker tournaments going on around here. I don't play poker, but I'm really good at reading people. So if your poker tells obvious, you don't want to play with me. And what I would tell you is about yourself, your 168 hours in the week is probably not being spent the way you really want to spend it. What do you want to have more joy in your life? A little less work, a little more wellness, a little more community time. Maybe you want to spend less time with your family. It might be just okay to tell them no, because boundaries are critical. People have such a hard time saying no, and no makes room for yes. to do the things you really want to do, including micro joy habits. I've given you several examples of how to do that today. I'm watching my time. Okay, myth busting. You do not have to burn out in order to be successful. Most of us don't believe that. You're going to walk out of here today, you're going to turn off your screen at home, and you're going to go, yeah, she's full of it. How easy for her to say. She's in the island of Kauai, her life's kind of cush. Actually, I'm working extremely hard. I'm just working very mindfully. And what I'm not going to trade off or give up are things I love, getting in open water and swimming. I teach a kupuna, which is 55-plus-year-old. I'm 56. I could be everyone's mother here. It's kind of trippy. I teach a kupuna water aerobic class once a week. Why? Because it's community and it's friendship. See how I'm blending and integrating my work-life harmony? Because balance is baloney. Then what happens is I work, I do coaching, I have a podcast called Work and Life Harmonized, I've written this new book. I can do that around 8 to 2 every single day and pretty much have the afternoons to myself. If I'm disciplined and if I'm honest with myself and I stop lying, that 2:30 today is okay, oh, I'm on a roll, 3 o'clock, oh, I love this person, let me help them, oh, my heart is melting, 5 o'clock, and before I know it, I'm back in the trap that I used to live in. 10-hour days, 12-hour days, 16-hour days. Really, we have to be mindful. And so if you really want to be successful, I really urge each and every one of you to redefine what success means to you. Most of us are not going to say at the end of life, I'm just going to count the dollars. It's all about the quan and what I made. Most of us aren't going to say that. Most of us are going to say, I did what I loved my family, I had this great life, I had a bucket list trip, I gave back. Maybe you're an innovator or an inventor and you did something that is IP worthy and you really did something to change humanity. That's what you're going to say at the end of life. And so I like to begin with the end of mine. So I promised you that I would talk about what in the world to do to give yourself space and grace. So time, good. I know I speak really, really quickly. I've had a lot of caffeine, and I'm on a totally opposite time zone and jet lagged, so thanks for bearing with my fast track speaking. Micro joy steps are the way to solve for this. So if you see burnout coming for yourself, a loved one, a coworker, an employee, a family member, somebody at church, wherever you spend your time, I want you to be a kind person and an accountability partner, and I want you to pull them aside gently and say, yo, you're burning out. I know, because I spot it, because I got it. I can see it, it's happening. You're getting sick, you're losing your hair, you're stressed all the time. You walk around with your shoulders up. You mumble, you complain, you're very negative, you're almost toxic. Let's stop your burnout cycle before it starts, because stopping it before it starts is so much easier than when you're already in it. When you're in it, then we gotta have a different strategy. And hope is not a strategy. You cannot hope your way through burnout. So let's be smart, let's be strategic, and let's be great role models for others in terms of how we reduce the burnout cycle for ourselves and others. So what's one thing that you can do today, right now in this very moment, that you're willing to commit to that will stop some of your burnout and start bringing up some of your joy? If you're brave enough, there's a mic. I can't even see it. Come on up to the mic. Tell me one thing you're willing to do. I like to call on people in the audience, so you might want to volunteer yourself. Come on, somebody come up. There's a prize. Watch how this works. There's a prize. There's a prize. Come on up to the mic. Tell me how you're willing to reduce your burnout. Will. I know you. You got to come up. Come on. Thank you. Give them a hand. I know. I volunteer people. I'm a mom. The girls are 20 and 24. I do this to everyone. Sorry. What are you willing to do to reduce burnout? One little thing.
Take a walk with my dog every day during lunchtime.
Awesome. Take a walk with his dog every day at lunchtime. Here's a book. You can have a second book to give to whomever you want. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else willing to come up? Be brave. Make a commitment. I'm your accountability partner. It's okay. Come on. Great. Thank you. See, someone has to go first. And in the front, when you're a keynote speaker, let me just tell you, it's so weird. Those are supposed to be VIP seats. Everyone sits way in the back. My whole life on stage is, I don't get it. Hi.
Hi.
What are you willing to do to reduce burnout?
Work out.
Work
Very
out.
simple.
Great.
Yeah.
What do you
Just
like
sweat
to
it out.
What do you like to do to work out?
If I'm angry, I go for a run or lift weights. And if I'm calm, I do yoga, depending on the mood.
That's fantastic. So specific. We call that SMARTER. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic.
Yes.
Evaluate it, repeat it, and rinse it, or dump it and start again. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Here's your gift. Thank you. Thanks for being brave. Okay, so I'm going to be wrapping in 5 minutes. The last thing I want to talk to you about is how in the world you can use a book like this for yourself and your loved ones, men and women, even though it's a female-related book, hot pink, prior to the Barbie movie, believe it or not. This was my idea. I know I'm dressed like this too. Men can wear pink. Be in touch with your emotional feminine side. Thank you. What you really need to do is look through the chapters and the table of contents of this book. I wrote this like a quick hit coaching tool. My clients of years and years, hundreds and hundreds of people, both men and women, have said, it's like you're sitting next to me, it's like you're talking to me. When are you recording the Audible for this book? Some of us are really shy about our own voice. I don't like the sound of my own voice. Here I am, a podcaster, I'm up on this stage. I am going to record Audible for this book, not for my first book, but for this one because I feel really confident about it. Confidence is key. So take your confident self, your willingness to reduce burnout and increase joy, open the book. I'm also in the Career Hub after this for a couple of hours. Come find me. It's next to the Zen Garden or whatever they call it. I might be in the Zen Garden, but come fish me out. And I will sign your book for you. The table of contents has a very easy way to figure out how to change yourself from overdrive to thrive, A through Z. Just like what we all learned in school, the basics. Or if you're a second English learner, A through Z will work for you as well. A is for authenticity, B is for burnout, Y is for you, P is for productivity, J is for joy. D is for delegate without remorse. There's a chapter for everybody, and inside of these chapters, they're always a close with the big so what? So what? What am I supposed to do about all this? Yeah, I feel burned out. Yeah, I feel crappy. I know 700 people that don't feel good. We're stuck. We don't even know where to start. We're already in that burnout cycle. Well, all the MicroStep tips and tricks, traps to avoid, most of the mistakes I've made, again, working with literally thousands of people, I'm kind of an expert. I can tell you that if you just start, if you see something, you say something. If you feel it, you sense it, you think it, you say something. You put stuff on the table. And then you'd be really surprised how communal things can get. Other people say, I feel that way too. I've felt that way too. And you start to really hold each other accountable in a really communal way to reduce the burnout and increase the joy and to find creative outlets for micro-stepping and micro-adjusting your way from wherever it is you and your loved ones are to wherever it is that you want to get. So that's the end for me. I'm gonna have an open mic for questions if you have any. Here's how to find me. If you're viewing this right now, please tag me, in particular on Instagram at dana.mahina or anywhere you hang out for social media. This book is a really big part of my life because it's designed to help people get accessible and affordable coaching where they wouldn't normally have access, and for people to really find each other and build their own communities wherever you work, spend your time, occupy life. I'd really love to see people reduce burnout and increase joy. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have questions, come on up. Any questions? Come on. Cool. Aloha, as we say from the island. I know you.
Aloha, yeah. Hi, Jane.
How's it?
The question, well, it's going good. How's it going?
The question was?
What's that? Oh, the question is, so if I wanted to give this to somebody who I think has burnout, I'm going to read it myself. But if I were to gift this to somebody, how would I do that delicately, I guess, without offending them? Because it's like, hey, look, you're burned out. You should read this.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Eddie.
Yeah.
So you want to say to somebody, hey, I noticed for myself over the years that I got in this cycle where I'd get really, really sick, but then I'd push through. I'm noticing that in you as well. Is it something we can talk about? And then you say, there's this great book written by Dana Mahina, who spent a lifetime in burnout. And her tips and tools are really helping me, and I really believe they could help you too, because I care about you. There's this little trick called radical candor. Shout out Dr. Kim Scott. This is her book, not mine. Came out about 6 years ago. And it says, care about people and challenge them directly. That's radical candor. And I'm always a fan of that, even when you're confronting something sensitive. So thanks, that was an excellent question. I'm getting the sound that time is up. Thank you, thank you. I'll see you at the Career Hub. Have a great show.